Have you ever said to yourself, I want to have more hand knits in my wardrobe and actually wear them? If so, the Vivien top might be the perfect place to start. In this tutorial, I will show you how to knit a beautiful V-neck top designed especially for beginners. It's worked in simple stockinette stitch, framed by broken rib edges, and it proves that even the most basic stitches can create something stylish and feminine. Yes, even without lace, and yes, if you are new to garment knitting. One of the things I love about this top is how easy it is to make it your own. You can knit it more fitted or go up a size for a relaxed, casual feel. And since we are working top down, you can try it on as you go and choose the perfect length for you. Also, you can enjoy it beyond summer. Just lay it with a blazer or cardigan and wear it into autumn. Let's look at how it's worked. First, we will knit the right back piece, shaping the V-neck and the armhole as we go. The broken rib at the armhole is already part of the piece, so you won't have to pick up stitches later, which definitely makes things easier. After that, we will knit the left back piece, doing exact same steps, just mirrored. Once both sides are finished, we will join them together and work a few more rows until we reach the full armhole depth. And that's it, the back is done. When we will repeat the same thing for the front, no changes, just the same process again. And finally, we will join everything in the round, knit straight down the body and finish with a 1x1 rib at the bottom. Sounds pretty doable, right? I know some of you prefer knitting on straight needles, and this top can be worked entirely on them. I will explain how when we reach the body section. Also, I want to introduce you to simple shoulder seaming, which is essential for your future projects, and we will tackle it together. And as always, I will give you the option to avoid them by picking up stitches from the cast-on back piece edge, as a few of my test knitters did. They inspired me to share this option with you, and I will show you exactly how to do it in the front section. Okay, if you are ready to cast on, download the pattern on Etsy or Ravelry, because it's written for 11 sizes and includes extra tips to help you knit with confidence from the very first stitch. Now, let's talk about yarn. My samples are knitted in the cotton linen blends, Drops Belle, of course, and new to me Svarta Cecilia. You can find other options for this top in my free DK weight yarn guide, which I've linked for you in the description. The only thing I want to caution you about as a beginner is to avoid bamboo yarn. I actually had a third sample worked in bamboo and it stretched by an inch after wet blocking. My test knitters had the same problem. The knitted fabric is like liquid silk, yes, but we will skip it for now until you are ready to play with the yarn and measurements more confidently. Drops Belle is my all-time favorite yarn for a first project. Affordable, endlessly unraveled friendly, and comes in beautiful colors. They even have a few new ones I couldn't resist buying for you. I was genuinely touched when you got back to me with all your comments and shared your knitting dreams. You've given me so much motivation and inspiration with your kind words, and I would love to give something back. I'm gifting 3 sets of 10 skeins of Drops Belle yarn in the new powder pink, cookie dough, and one of my favorite chocolate shades, forest brown. Each set includes enough yarn to knit the Vivien top, the Summersole top, or the beloved Melomu top in any size. To join in, just make sure you're subscribed to my channel Knit with Julia Pira and leave a comment below with anything knitty in your mind, or even a fun little story from your knitting journey. 1 week after this video goes live, I will randomly choose 3 winners and send the yarn your way, wherever you are in the world. Here is a brief overview and a few safety rules. I will choose 3 winners at random in 1 week and reply personally to your original comment. Please make sure to visit these video comments back in 7 days. Winners will be announced on YouTube post, Instagram, and in my weekly email essay notes. I will cover the shipping worldwide, but any potential custom fees will be the winner's responsibility. And no payments, no forms on other sites. You only need to be subscribed to my channel Knit with Julia Pira, share a comment, and you are in. Only I, from my YouTube account or my branded email info@juliapiro.com, will contact you. I wish you good luck and don't forget to check in 1 week if you are a winner. Okay, let's begin the Vivien top together. And maybe just in a week or so you will be wearing it, looking in the mirror and proudly thinking, yep, I made this. We are starting with the right back piece, and the first section is the shoulder strap, and we will be knitting flat here, just back and forth in rows. I am working with 4 mm circular needles, 80 cm long. That's US size 6 and 31 inches. For the cast on, I use the long tail method, but you are welcome to use a provisional cast on if you prefer. Either one works fine in this case. So go ahead and cast on the number of stitches for your size as listed in the pattern. Now, let's begin. Row 1 on the right side. Knit X stitches. Check your size in the pattern. Then place a marker and knit the last 4 stitches. These 4 stitches are going to become the armhole edge. Row 2 on the wrong side. Knit those 4 stitches to create a broken rib stitch pattern. Slip the marker and purl to the end. Row 3 on the right side is the same as the first row. Knit to the marker. Slip it and knit the last 4 again. And once again, row 4 on the wrong side. It is the same as row 2. Knit 4, slip the marker and purl to the end. Go ahead and repeat rows 3 and 4 as many times as your size needs. Now that the strap is done, we are going to shape the V-neck. We will add stitches along the neckline edge using a leg leaning increase called M1L. This creates this soft diagonal slope at the neckline. Let's walk through it. Row 1 on the right side. Knit 3 stitches. Then place a new marker. This is your new neckline marker. Now our first make one left. To do that, find the little horizontal strand between the stitch you just worked and the next one. Insert your left needle from the front to back under that strand. Then knit into the back loop of it. This little twist will close the gap and give you a nice, almost invisible increase. After that, just knit across to the next marker. Slip it and knit the last 4 stitches. Row 2 on the wrong side. Knit 4 for the armhole ribbing. Slip the marker and purl to the end. Row 3 on the right side, knit 3, slip the marker, then make another M1L. Same thing. With your left needle, pick up the strand from the front to back and knit into the back loop. Then knit to the next marker. Slip it and knit the last 4 stitches. And row 4 on the wrong side, same as before. Knit 4, slip the marker and purl to the end. Now repeat rows 3 and 4 the number of times listed for your size in the pattern. You will see the neckline start to grow out nicely as you go. Okay, the V-neck is taking shape and now we will start increasing on both sides. On one side we will continue shaping the V-neck using M1L, and on the other side we will shape the armhole using M1R. That's a right leaning increase. Let me walk you through what that looks like. Row 1 on the right side, knit 3, slip the marker and make 1 left. Then knit across to the next marker. And here we have a M1R. Pick up the strand between stitches, but this time go from back to front. Then knit into the front loop of that strand. It will feel a little tight, so you can lift the strand closer to the needle tip and give it a little room. Slip the marker and knit the last 4 stitches. Row 2 on the wrong side, knit 4, slip the marker and purl to the end. Let's go through one more set together. Row 3 right side, knit 3, slip the marker, make an M1L, front to back, knit through the back loop. Then knit across to the next marker. And make an M1R, back to front, knit through the front loop. Slip the marker and knit the last 4 stitches. And row 4 on the wrong side, same as before. Knit 4, slip the marker, purl to the end. You will repeat these 2 rows as many times as your size requires. Check your pattern for the count. And as you go, your piece will grow evenly on both sides. You will see the neckline curve getting deeper and the broken rib armhole rounding out at the edge. Well done! Your right back piece is finished. Alright, let's check how it's going so far. At this stage, your right back piece should be fully shaped. The neckline curves gently inward and the outer edge leans out to form the armhole. You will also notice the broken rib stitch pattern running along that outer edge. That's our built-in armhole ribbing. It helps keep the edge neat and stops it from curling in. Now is a great time to double check a few things. Your stitch count should match what's listed in the pattern for your size. That's how you know all the increases are in place. You should also have completed the right number of rows, and that brings us to the next check: length. Measure from the cast-on edge straight down, and your piece should be close to the number in the pattern. A difference of about 1 cm or half an inch is totally fine. If you are missing just 1 stitch, don't worry, you don't have to start over. Try to spot where it was missed. Was it on the neckline or the armhole side? You can carefully unravel the last row and add it in using M1PL, make 1 purl left, or M1PR, make 1 purl right, depending on the direction. But if you are missing more than 2 stitches, I'd recommend starting this part again. This time take it slow and maybe use the row tracker I created for you. We still have 3 more sections to knit in the same way, so I want you to feel confident with these increased techniques. Once everything looks good, go ahead and cut the yarn, leaving a tail about 25 centimeters or 10 inches. And place all your stitches on hold. I'm using a silicone cord here, but thin scrap yarn works too. That's it for the right back piece. Let it rest for now, we will return to it later. Next up, the left side. Just like we did with the right side, we are now going to shape the left back piece, but this time in reverse. Using your 4 mm circular needles, that's US size 6, cast on the same number of stitches as you did for the right back piece. Let's begin shaping. Row 1 on the right side, knit 4 stitches. Place a marker, then knit to the end of the row. These first 4 stitches form the outer edge of the armhole. They will become the broken rib band later on. Next, we have row 2 on the wrong side. Purl across until you reach the marker. Then slip it and knit the last 4 stitches. Row 3 on the right side, knit 4, slip the marker and knit across the rest of the row. And row 4, same as the previous wrong side row. Purl to the marker, Slip it and finish with knit 4. Repeat rows 3 and 4 the number of times your size requires. Once you finish this section, your strap is complete and we are ready to shape the neckline. On this side, we will shape the left side of the V-neck using a right leaning increase, that's M1R. Row 1 on the right side. Start by knitting 4, then slip the armhole marker. Knit across until 3 stitches remain. Now make a M1R. Lift the strand between stitches from back to front, then knit into the front loop. Place a new marker here, this marks the beginning of your neckline, and knit the last 3 stitches. Row 2 on the wrong side. Purl to the last 4 stitches. Knit 4. And we are back on the right side. Row 3, knit 4, slip a marker, knit to the neckline marker. Make another M1R. Slip the marker and knit the final 3 stitches. Row 4, wrong side, same as before. Purl to the last 4 stitches. Knit 4. Now you need to repeat rows 3 and 4 as many times as your size calls for. Done! In this final section, we will increase on both sides of the fabric, 1 stitch for the armhole, 1 for the neckline, to complete the shaping of the upper back. Right side, knit 4, slip the armhole marker. Right after the marker, work a M1L, that's a left leaning increase. Pick up the strand from the front to back and knit into the back loop. Knit across to the neckline marker. Then make M1R for the neckline. Pick up the strand from the back to front, knit it into the front loop. Slip the marker and knit the last 3 stitches. We are on the wrong side. Purl to the last 4 stitches, slipping markers as you go. And knit the last 4. Repeat those 2 rows according to your size. Once you've reached the final row, you should see both sides of the left back piece reflecting the shape of the right, and your back section is nearly complete. Don't cut the yarn. We will use it right away in the next step to join the back pieces together. Take a moment to admire your work, because you've just finished one of the key building blocks of this top. Both sides of the back are shaped and we are ready to bring them together and complete the upper back. You should be at the end of the left back piece with your working yarn still attached and about to begin a right side row. This next row will join the left and right back pieces and begin the final set of increases along the armholes. Here is how we do it. Row 1 on the right side. Start by knitting 4. Slip the marker and make M1L. Make one left. That's your armhole increase on the left piece. Then continue knitting across to the next marker. Remove that one and knit to the end of the left back piece. Now let's bring the right back piece. With the right side still facing you, carefully slide the stitches from your holder or scrap yarn back onto the left needle. Start slipping the stitches onto your needle from the outer edge, the side with the broken rib, so that the stitches with the yarn tail are thus in line to knit. Now we continue knitting, still in the same right side row. Knit 3. We will take care of the yarn tail after we finish this section. Remove the next marker, then knit to the following marker. Here, work M1R. Slip the marker and finish the row with knit 4. The 2 pieces are joined and you have one continuous back panel. Turn your work to the wrong side for row 2. Knit 4. Slip the marker, purl across to the next marker. Slip it and knit the final 4 stitches. Row 3 on the right side. Knit 4. Slip the marker, work a M1L. Knit to the next marker. Work a M1R. Slip the marker and knit the last 4. Turn your work and we have row 4 on the wrong side. Same as before. Knit 4. Slip the marker, purl across. Slip the next marker and knit 4. Now, you will repeat rows 3 and 4 the number of times listed for your size. Each repeat adds 1 stitch on either side, continuing the smooth shaping of the armholes. Your upper back is now complete. The two pieces are fully joined, beautifully shaped, and we are ready for the front. But before we do, how do you fix that little gap that often appears at the center of the V-neck after joining the left and right sides when working top down? Here's how I do it. Place the knitted piece in front of you and gently pull on the yarn tail to tighten it up. Now, look closely at the area near the tail. You will probably spot a stretched stitch. That's just a regular stitch that got pulled out of shape, and it's usually connected to the one right next to it. Try gently tighten it by pulling one leg of the stitch, just a little. Then do the same with the nearest loop beside it. Your goal is to gently spread the extra yarn into the nearby stitches. Go slowly and carefully. This doesn't need to be rushed. Once that area looks more balanced, thread the yarn tail onto a tapestry needle. Now, working from the right side, try to imitate the stitches in that gap. The idea is to make it blend in as much as possible. There is no single correct direction here. Feel free to improvise a little. Try different angles, but avoid splitting the yarn. Instead, move through the spaces between the stitches so you can adjust it if needed. And don't overdo it. Usually just a few passes with the needle are enough. Once it looks good, within the yarn tail on the wrong side, staying close to the V-neck edge. That way it won't peek through the middle of your top. Well done! The front and back pieces of the Vivien top are identical, so now you can simply repeat all the steps we just worked through, this time for the front. You will end up with a piece that looks just like the back. You can cut the yarn and place the back stitches on hold for now. Once your front piece is ready, I will show you how to seam the shoulder straps, both in stockinette and garter stitch. These are some of the most commonly used seams in knitting, and I want you to feel confident working with them. But if you would like to skip seaming altogether, there is also an alternative option. You can pick up stitches instead of casting on. Here is how it works. Pick up stitches along the left shoulder and work it just like the right back piece. Pick up stitches along the right shoulder and work it the same way as the left back piece. This method adds 2 extra rows. One row where you pick up stitches and one wrong side row right after that. On the wrong side row, remember to place a marker to separate the garter stitch edge. Knit the first 4 stitches, that's your edge, and then purl the rest. Because of the pickup, you will also need to work 2 fewer rows in the first section when creating the strap. That helps match the length with the back. This technique saves you a bit of finishing work at the end, but it's totally optional. Just go with the method that feels right for you and your knitting style. At this stage, you should have 2 identical pieces in front of you. The back piece with the left and right sides already joined, and the front piece worked in exactly the same way. Take a moment to check that both pieces have the same number of stitches, the same number of rows, and a matching length from the cast on edge. If everything lines up, you are ready for the next step, seaming the shoulders. Okay, grab your tapestry needle, thread it with some yarn. You can also use the yarn tail if it's long enough, and I will show you how to seam the shoulder seams. To make it easier to follow, I will demonstrate the seam using a contrast yarn. Then I will redo it neatly with the main color. No worries, you don't need to know how to sew. We are just connecting stitches, that's all. Place one of your finished pieces in front of you with the right side facing up. It doesn't matter whether it's the front or the back, they are identical. Now position the other piece on top of it, also with the right side facing up, so the cast on edges of the straps are lined up one above the other. Make sure the garter stitch edge of one piece is aligned with the garter stitch edge of the other. We will be seaming from the right to left, starting with the garter stitch section. Find your first edge stitch with a purl bump and insert your needle into the purl bump. Pull the yarn through. Now, on the opposite side, look for a V-shaped stitch as close to the edge as possible. That will help to create a neat horizontal seam without leaving a gap at the outer edge. Go under both legs of that V-stitch and pull the yarn through. Then go back into the same purl bump you started with, this time from the top to bottom. That's your first stitch done. Let's repeat it for the next one. Find the next purl bump on the lower piece and insert your needle from the bottom to top. Then go through the next V-stitch on the upper piece under both legs, moving from the right to left. We are going into the V-stitch in the second row to maintain the garter stitch pattern. And again, return to the purl bump below, this time inserting the needle from above. I will go ahead and finish the rest of the garter stitches, and then we will move on to joining the stockinette section. This is how it looks, almost seamless. Now for the stockinette stitch. On both pieces we have rows of V-shaped stitches, and our task now is to join one V to another, cleanly and invisibly. Start by threading your needle into the center of the first V on the piece below. Then go under both legs of the V on the piece above, just like we did in the garter stitch seam. Now go back into the center of the V below and pull the yarn through. Let's do that again. Find the next V on the lower piece and insert your needle into its center. Then go to the next V on the upper piece. Pass the needle under both legs. And come back to the center of the V below. That's it. Keep working across the row, joining all the V's the same way. This is how the finished seam looks, nice and tidy. Now go ahead and repeat the same process on the other shoulder, but this time you will start with the stockinette stitch and finish with the garter stitch. Begin again at the center of the V on the strap below. Go under both legs of the V above. Make sure to choose the V-stitch from the second row, so it blends seamlessly into the garter stitch. Keep going like this all the way across. And done! If it was your first time seaming shoulders, you should be so proud of yourself. Finally, we are onto the body and that smooth stockinette stitch. In this step, we will bring the front and back pieces together and knit one seamless body in the round, just simple knit stitches from here down. If you prefer straight needles, there is a flat knitting option too. Your back stitches are already on hold. You can leave them there and start working back and forth on the front piece in stockinette stitch, which means knit on the right side and purl on the wrong side until you reach your desired length. Then finish with a 1x1 rip and bind off the front stitches. After that, go back to the back piece, slip the stitches onto your needle, attach a new skein of yarn and work the same way. Once both pieces are done, you will just need to seam the sides. I will add a link to a tutorial for that in the description to this video. Okay, in this tutorial I am demonstrating the in the round version. Round 1. With the right side facing, begin knitting across the front piece, plain knit stitches only. And remove any markers as you reach them. Next, slip the back piece stitches of the holder or scrap yarn back onto your needle. Start at the outer edge, the side with the broken rib, and make sure the stitches with the yarn tail come first in line to knit. Continue knitting across all the back stitches. Again, no need to keep any markers here. Once you finish the round, place a new marker to mark the beginning of the round. Round 2. Knit all stitches. Now continue knitting every round just like round 2 for about 3 centimeters or 1 inch. That will give you a little fabric so you can pause and try the top on comfortably. If you are working flat and want to try it on midway, here's what you can do. Work a few centimeters or inches on the front, then put the stitches on hold. Slip the back stitches onto your needle and knit a few centimeters, inches there too. Loosely sew the side seams so you will be able to try on the top and spot any fit issues early without knitting the full length. Once you are happy with the fit, just continue knitting each side separately to your desired length. And one more, but very essential tip: always add a new skein of yarn at the sides of the body. That way, when it's time to weave in the yarn tails, they will stay hidden along the edge, not visible in the middle of your beautiful top. I will meet you again at the next control point. I worked 8 rounds after joining in the round, just enough to smooth out the connection and be able to try it on. Slip about half of your stitches onto a scrap yarn, a thinner circular needle or a silicone cord. This gives a fabric enough flexibility to move and stretch naturally as you try it on. Yes, at this stage it still looks a bit like a top half of a swimsuit rather than a full top, but give it a bit of time. Right now you can check 2 things. First, the V-neck depth. Gently straighten the fabric downward to see how low it sits. And second, take a look at the armhole depth. It should feel comfortable but not too loose. You will be adding about 10 more centimeters or 4 inches before the next try on, and at that point you will be able to check the chest fit more accurately. So far so good, let's keep going. But what if something doesn't look or feel as smooth as we were hoping for? Let's troubleshoot together. Neckline feels too deep? First, check the armhole length. Measure from the shoulder seam down and compare it to the length given in the pattern. If your piece is longer, that usually means your row gauge is off. Maybe you skipped the swatch, or even if you did swatch, your yarn might have relaxed and stretched after a bit of knitting. It happens. So how we can fix it? Since we added most of our shaping early on, the only real area where you can shorten things is part 1. The straps. You will need to unravel and start over from the beginning of that part, but this time work 4-6 fewer rows. This will reduce the depth of the V-neck and shorten the armhole at the same time. Want a deeper V-neck? Go back to back piece part 3 and knit 4-6 more rows, but this time without adding any increases, and do the same for the front piece part 3. Just keep in mind, this will deepen the V-neck, but also elongate the armholes, so be sure you are happy with that change before moving forward. If you decided to start over, that's totally okay. While you are here, let's quickly check the bust fit to see if any adjustments are needed. Try the top on again and ask yourself, do I want it to feel a little more fitted or a bit roomier? To adjust the bust fit, you can change the bust circumference in back and front part 4, where we joined pieces and worked final armhole increases. If you want to add width, try doing extra increases. Instead of increasing every other row, work increases in every right and wrong side row. That means using M1 purl left and make 1 purl right, on wrong side rows too. For example, in the second, fourth and sixth wrong side rows. If you want to narrow it, simply skip a few of the planned increases. On the right side row, just knit across as if those increases were never there. I hope your adjustments, if any, were small and easy to manage. And even if you are doing a section, don't give up. You are doing great and I'm here cheering you on. Now, I'm going to keep knitting the body in the round and I will see you again at the bottom ribbing step. Alright, we've knitted the body to the length we want, now we will finish it off with a bit of ribbing at the bottom. Take your 3.5mm needles, that's US size 4, and work a 1x1 rib, just knit one, purl one around the whole piece. We will do 4 rounds here. That's usually enough to keep the edge from curling and blends in nicely. Now for the bind off. Most of the time I use the basic bind off. It's quick and allows you easily unravel if you would change your mind after blocking and want to adjust the length. But if you want that polished edge, you can go with the Italian bind off. Just be sure you are completely happy with the fit, because it's not the easiest to unravel. To keep the bottom edge from feeling tight, I stretch each stitch just a little as I bind off. Done. Now let's weave in the yarn tails and then it's time to wash the top. It will even out the stitches and really elevate the final look. Final touches. Grab your tapestry needle because it's time to weave in all the yarn tails. Let's begin with the one at the very end of your bind-off round. Thread the yarn tail into the tapestry needle and join the last stitch to the first visible V-stitch at the beginning of the round. Go into that first stitch. Then back into the last one. Then guide your needle to the wrong side and neatly weave it into the ribbing. A few stitches in one direction, and then naturally a few in the other. Now for the neckline. You already know the trick for closing the little gap, just repeat the same thing on the other side. Let's move to the armholes. You will likely have a tail there too. Simply weave it in into the garter ridges. If one side has a stretched stitch but no yarn tail, just take a new strand and close the gap with a few careful stitches. Shoulder seams next. Tuck the tails into the ribbing or just below the stockinette section. And last but not least is how to weave in yarn tails in stockinette fabric. My favorite method is what I call umbrellas and smiles. I show it step by step in the first sweater tutorial, and I will link it in the description if you are curious. That's it, we've made it to the final step, and it's one I never skip: wet blocking your top, or in our case, a simple soak and flat dry. Here is how I do it. I fill a sink or basin with lukewarm water and add a drop of gentle detergent, something delicate. Then I let the top soak for 20 minutes. This is the moment your yarn breathes, the stitches settle, and everything finds its shape. When it's done soaking, gently rinse it in clean water and press out the extra water with your hands. No twisting, just light pressure. Then roll it in a towel to remove more moisture. That helps it dry faster. Next, lay your top flat to dry on a clean towel, either on a drying rack or, as I often do, on a yoga mat, since I don't use pins and it won't get damaged. Gently smooth out the shape, straighten the neckline and adjust the width and length. Now let it air dry completely. It might take a day or two, but once it's dry, the top will feel softer, look more even and be ready to wear. And just before we celebrate, a quick note. If the V-neck, armholes or overall length turn out a bit longer than you expected, chances are it's the yarn, not you. Some fibers naturally stretch after soaking, especially bamboo blends or superwash yarns. Don't worry, you don't have to start over. You can sew the armhole slightly closer, about an inch or a few centimeters. Stitch the V-neck higher, or unravel just the bottom ribbing and extra length, then reknit the ribbing and soak again. I will leave a link that shows how to get your stitches back onto the needle and how to reuse already washed yarn so it looks fresh again. That's it, friends. My heartfelt congratulations on finishing your top. I hope this top becomes a piece you are truly proud of and an exciting step toward creating the handmade wardrobe. I'm so glad I could be part of your knitting journey. Bye bye.